Thank you for stopping by. Today, I want to talk about the latest comment from the president, the former president of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan. If you have been following the news about what's going on in Nigeria, you know that everyone is getting ready for the elections, 2023 elections, and people are declaring their support. Masses are declaring their support for just one candidate. And you know who I'm talking about. So I was interested to know what Goodluck Jonathan had to say about the elections and about who people should vote for. And he said something very interesting. He said, please, Nigerians, don't vote for killers. Don't vote for killers. It's interesting that he's saying that now, because if you remember when the elections of Jonathan versus the current president of Nigeria happened, there were some rumors about, oh, you better hand over to us, or we're going to cause war in the country, we're going to do this and that. And even though there was a lot of rigging that happened, and of course an incumbent president would not easily hand over power to an incoming president, especially where there's a lot of rigging recorded. But President Jonathan said something very instructive. He said, my political ambition is not worth the blood of any Nigerian. He knew that the people who were coming to take over from him were ready to do it with bloodletting. They were desperate because they've already brought in these bandits. They've already brought in these terrorists. They had already brought in Boko Haram to come and cause bloodshed just to make sure they take over power. So Jonathan knew that if he resisted, if he said, wait a minute, I need to query this result, he knew there would have been a lot of bloodshed. And he said, my ambition is not worth the blood of any Nigerian. And he calmly handed over power to the killers that are now killing Nigeria. And he knows who these killers are. We, every Nigerian, we know who these killers are. So are we going to listen to ex-President Jonathan? Are we going to listen to him? Yes, we called him clueless, but I don't think it's a crime to be clueless, is it? One thing we cannot say about the people who have been ruling Nigeria for the past 8 years is that they are not clueless. We can't call them clueless. They knew exactly what they wanted to do with power, and they focused on it. They focused on it, and they did exactly that. When the killing started and every Nigerian started crying, started shouting and saying, look, use our military to stop this. Use the might of the military to stop this. The government was not ready. They were not ready to do that. All they said to us is, since the killers want your land, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer handing over your ancestral land to the killers, or you prefer to be killed? And we said, we don't want to hand over ancestral lands to invaders from countries outside Nigeria. We don't want to do that. And they said, well, that is it. It's either you give out your land or you get killed. So the government, with the might, the federal might that they have, were not ready to stop the killers. The killers, now what are they doing? They are transporting the killers to every nook and cranny of Nigeria. We see trailer loads that are supposed to be filled with cattle. When you open them up, you see human beings. You see miscreants. You see bandits. You see terrorists. You see hungry, desperate young men, people's children. Those are the people that these oligarchs are using to shed blood of quality human beings. Educated Nigerians are being kidnapped in kidnappers' den and then slaughtered with machetes by these miscreants. The most annoying thing is they no longer demand for 1 million naira as ransom. They no longer demand for 2 million naira, 5 million naira. What they now ask for is 100 million, 20 million, 50 million. People you know that have never touched 1,000 naira are asking for 100 million. Who are they working for? That's what we need to ask ourselves. Who are they getting this money for? Who are they fronting for? That's what we need to ask ourselves. The money can't be for them. And that's why in communities in southern Nigeria, you see that the soldiers are protecting these killers. In northern Nigeria, the soldiers are now going after the bandits because the bandits are slaughtering them. They are killing them. They're even entering into mosque. That wasn't what they were sent to do. They were sent to kill Christians and non-Fulanis. But now they're entering into mosque and killing even Fulanis. They're killing everybody in the north now. So they're shipping them down to the south. Now that they are being shipped down to southern Nigeria, the police commissioners have been instructed, don't touch them. Don't touch them. Just call them headsmen. That's who they are, headsmen. So these people come into communities, they set communities ablaze, they take over communities, they take over farmland, and they say, oh, they are unknown gunmen. They can't be unknown because you see them commit the atrocities and take over the land. So how can you see somebody commit atrocity and take over land and you say the gunman is still unknown? It's not unknown. So I was really delighted to hear President Jonathan advise Nigerians. He said, I'm begging Nigerians, please don't vote for these killers. We cannot continue like this. A lot of people have switched off on news about Nigeria. I cannot switch off. Yes, I'm a minister of the gospel, yes, but I can't preach to dead people. I have to preach to human beings. I live in the United Kingdom, yes, but I have my radio shows in Nigeria as well, where I minister the gospel. I have relations in Nigeria. Nigeria is my country. I want to go back to Nigeria. So if the fact that people are asking for self-determination is a crime, then let there be peace, so that the people will not keep asking for self-determination. Let the killing stop. Let the oligarchs, the Fulani oligarchs, stop sponsoring these killers. Once it stops, then everybody can live in peace. But they don't want to stop that. And that's why every wise Nigerian is saying, we don't want to vote for killers and sponsors of killing. We don't want, that's why everybody's saying, Obi is who we want. Obi is who we want. Because we know Obi is not a killer. We know Obi has a sound mind. We know Obi has morals. We know Obi has the fear of God. We know that Obi is a prudent administrator. We want Obi. Obi feels our pains. Obi knows what we're going through. He's been a victim of the injustice a lot of Nigerians are going through. And we know he will do better. And you see, it's one thing for Nigerians to support Obi, but another thing for us to ask ourselves, what are we going to do about rigging? How are we going to counter rigging? Because the people we are competing against, their only hope is rigging. They rig elections, they give money to INEC. INEC can falsify the results. They can threaten INEC. INEC falsifies results. They can threaten them at gunpoint, they falsify results. We see that happening in states like Abia State and so many states in Nigeria. We see that a lot of these looters in the name of leaders, they've looted so much billions that they can buy any INEC commissioner. They can buy even the INEC leadership. Yes, they can. These are men who own private jets, 1, 2, 3 private jets from the money they have stolen from Nigerians. What I'm amazed about is the fact that their greed knows no bounds. If you have stolen so much billions, wouldn't you say, let me go and rest and enjoy my billions? Especially when you're over 70 years. Go and enjoy the billions. Why do you want to keep ruling Nigeria and keep killing us and keep starving us? So much insecurity, so much poverty. How do these men even feel when they hear everybody calling them rogues, looters, killers? How do they feel? How do they sleep at night? After hearing all these things, they're still saying, I must rule by force. I must use rigging to put myself in power. Does that make sense? That doesn't make sense to me, honestly. That doesn't make sense. A whole Wike, the warrior, the governor of Rivers State, is not even able to protect the women of Rivers State that are being raped. Mass rape has been going on in southern states like Abia State, Ebonyi State, Anambra State, Enugu State. Mass rape have been going on, perpetrated by these Fulani headsmen, raping women at gunpoint in their farms. It's been going on. And it's a shame that these governors don't want to do anything about it. Now, the president of Nigeria, the current president of Nigeria, who comes from Katsina State, has formed a state police in Katsina State. Katsina State have now armed their vigilante. They are armed to the teeth. They have sophisticated weapons to fight the bandits. But the governors in southern Nigeria that are experiencing this influx of bandits have not been able to get license to get the sophisticated weapons to give to their vigilantes. Their vigilantes are only allowed to hold machetes to fight against people who are holding guns. I mean, how does that add up? Nobody else is allowed to own guns in Nigeria except the herdsmen, people who are rearing cows, who are now allowed to live in the bushes and kidnap people and slaughter them in the bushes, and nothing happens to them. They have guns, you can't come against them. The soldiers are protecting them because they are sponsoring them, because they are sharing from the loot. Oh yes, they are all sharing from the loot, from kidnapping loot. But what do you gain from the bloodshed? What do you gain from the bloodshed? Sometimes there's no need appealing to their conscience because they don't even have a conscience. But I wish the ministers of God in Nigeria would tell them, would tell these leaders that blood, spilling of innocent blood brings curses on a land. It brings curses. Since northern Nigeria took it upon themselves to slaughter innocent Igbos, the sword has not departed from northern Nigeria. The sword has not departed. They started by killing Igbos. They continue to killing northerners that are Christians. Now they are killing Muslims as well. The sword will never depart from northern Nigeria because they shed innocent blood. People who didn't know what happened in the military, who didn't know anything about the coup by Igbo soldiers, were slaughtered in millions. Mass genocide. Since then, the sword has not left northern Nigeria. Because the sword had not left their enclave, they are now shipping the killers to the south to make sure that the southerners will also suffer what they have been suffering in the north. And this is working for them. It's working for them. They installed a man as governor in southern Nigeria, in Imo State, a man who didn't contest election. They installed him to help perpetrate their Fulanization agenda. And you know the killings are going on in Imo State? Killings of innocent Igbo boys. Oh, they are IPOB members. They are IPOB. How can you just rain bullets from the sky in the market square and set markets ablaze and kill every young man in sight? How are you sure they are IPOB members? What proof do you have they are IPOB members? The women in the market who are selling things and receiving bullets from the sky, are they also IPOB members? Did they kill anybody? They didn't kill anybody. The last time I heard this kind of thing happen was during the Nigerian Civil War, where they said women would go to market, they wouldn't return. Young men would go out, they wouldn't come back. I remember an old woman in my village said to me, I had 2 sons, I had 2 sons. She said, but they never came back from the war. They were slaughtered in the war. Now the same thing is happening. Imo State, the people of Imo State are saying more people have died, have been killed by state police, by the military in Imo State. Now more people have been killed than during the Nigerian Civil War. Oh yes. They want to silence IPOB and they're just slaughtering innocent people, killing indiscriminately. I remember a video I watched of an Al Jazeera journalist. He was interviewing the president of Nigeria, General Buhari. And he said to him, how do you explain the killing of unarmed protesters in southern Nigeria? He said, look at the video of soldiers raining bullets from the sky and from the ground, just slaughtering them because they were gathering and protesting. They were unarmed. How do you explain that? Immediately, this journalist played the video for Buhari to watch. Buhari said, I'm not looking. He just did like this. I'm not watching. That's the coldest thing I've ever seen. That was so cold. He refused to watch. I refused to answer the question about how you can just send your soldiers to more than innocent youths. The strength of a people in the name of IPOB, they want self-determination. How is that right? The killings are too many. The blood of the innocent are crying out, and the blood of innocent speaks vengeance. Nothing good comes out of a society where they're spilling innocent blood on a regular basis. And that's what's going on in Nigeria now. I saw the video of the young man that said he was kidnapped along Abuja Road. He said there were 6 of us kidnapped. We're in a bus. They've stopped us. We thought they were wearing a military uniforms or Police uniforms, they thought they were, the police or something. They slowed down and they started firing. They gathered all of them, took them to the bush, and asked them, use your phone to call your relations. We want 5 million from each. They demanded more, but they negotiated with them. Only one woman was able to produce 5 million. Her relations brought 5 million and gave to these people. The rest were slaughtered with machetes, slaughtered. The young man that told the story, was able to escape in a miraculous way. His story is so chilling. It's so chilling. The story he had to tell. These are young men. You see, both these killers, in a way, I look at them and I say that the Fulani oligarchs have destroyed their lives. They've destroyed, if you spend your life killing somebody else, the sword will never depart from you. It will never depart from your generation. Your generations unborn will suffer it. I thank God Nigerians are waking up to say we have had enough. I listened to a young man. His video is so interesting. He said, all these old men, you have stolen enough from us. You have caused so much insecurity. You have looted enough from us. We will not take your bribes this time during the elections. You bribe us with 5,000 naira or with 3,000 naira or with 2,000 naira. And that is what you want us to live on for the next 4 years, that you will come in and be looting and looting and looting. Another 4 years will come and go. You bribe us with another 2,000 naira or 5,000 naira and take our vote and rig the election, and you will continue looting. Can anybody survive on 2,000 naira for one day, not to talk about for 4 years? Can you survive on 5,000 for 4 years? Nobody can survive on that. So Nigerians are ready and saying, we've had enough. We have had enough. The killings are too many. There are too many. The insecurity is too many. The looting is too many. You've destroyed our nation. Some days there's total blackout. I'm not just talking about the spiritual darkness that is over Nigeria. I'm talking about physical darkness where there'll be no light. The national grid will not be able to generate any light at all. And the people are saying, vote us in again, vote us in. Let us continue destroying your lives. Let us continue winning destinies. Let us continue shedding innocent blood of strong men that a nation depends on. Enough is enough. I thank God that President Jonathan said that. He said, don't vote for killers anymore. Don't vote for killers. And Nigerians will not vote for killers. We will not. We will succeed. We will make it. We will certainly overcome these killers. I'm Jessica John Brimer, and I want to appeal to you to please click that place you see subscribe. A lot of people tell me I don't even know how to subscribe. You see a place written subscribe, just click there. If you like what you've heard, you click that thumbs up. You just click. That's the like button. A lot of people tell me we don't know the like button. Very interesting. Thank you so much for stopping by. God bless you.